Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Michael Breus, the sleep doctor, and I'm here today to answer some of your burning sleep questions. Please remember this is not medical advice. I just don't have enough information on your personal case to honestly be effective. You should always contact your physician with these questions as well. If you've got a question that you'd like to see me answer, leave a comment below or do me a favor, send me an email at asksleepdoctor.com. And if you like these videos, we have a lot more on YouTube, so do me a favor, hit that subscribe button over there. First, we've got Juliana, and she wants to know, it's very unusual for me to wake up feeling refreshed. I'd like to have some advice on times to go to bed and recommended sleep duration, and how to balance my ideal sleep routine with my husband, who's definitely an early morning person that wakes up early, full of energy, even a bit annoying. There's a lot to break down here, so let's take a look at this. So the first thing is that you don't seem to be able to sleep throughout the evening, and that sounds like a quality sleep issue. When somebody's got a quality sleep issue, the very first thing I like to think about is potentially doing a sleep study. When we're trying to look for an underlying sleep disorder, pretty much the best way to figure that out is with an in-laboratory sleep study. Especially in this situation, I wouldn't recommend a home sleep study. I would recommend an in-lab sleep study, because what we want to try to identify is, could you have an underlying case of sleep apnea, restless leg syndrome, something that's preventing you from either being able to fall asleep or being able to stay asleep, and your bed partner's not able to report it to you. Number two is, you and your husband may have two different things that are called chronotypes. So a lot of people don't know what a chronotype is, but this is your genetically predetermined sleep schedule. There are about 4 out there, and if you want to learn what yours is and your partner's, go to chronoquiz.com and you can figure that out, because sometimes they're compatible and sometimes they're not so compatible. So I want you to understand that it's okay to go to bed at a different time than your partner, and it's okay for your partner to wake up, but maybe ask them to be a little quieter in the mornings. Next, we've got Peter, and Peter says, I have nasal pillows and I'm taking it off in the middle of the night every single night. Okay, so first of all, you need to know, what is a nasal pillow? This is a type of CPAP mask. And so he goes on to say, I find it difficult to exhale with the airflow going into my nose. Is there another mask that you would recommend that makes it easier to exhale? Nasal pillows are generally used for people who don't like stuff on their face. It's a little tube that comes under here and goes up into the nostrils. So if that's difficult, there's a couple of different things that I might recommend. Number one, have you tried the ramp feature on your CPAP, which it starts at a very low pressure and then slowly builds up, so it makes it easier for you to adapt. And usually people fall asleep and then everything kind of works itself out. If you haven't used the ramp feature, try that. If you have and it's still not working, there are a lot of other masks. Personally, I like the full face masks for these types of patients. And this is a mask that's going to go around your nose and your mouth. So you can just kind of lie back and breathe normally, and then you're still getting that pressure. So that could be a possibility. So right now, I would say ramp feature and maybe consider a full face mask. Our next question is from Jennifer, and she asks, I've been reading about deep sleep and I've had problems getting enough. It's usually between 15 to 50 minutes. I maybe average 20 minutes a night and I don't know what to do. Depending upon your age, that might be plenty. Most things that track your sleep are not particularly accurate. So if you're using a ring or a watch or a band or a pad or something that's telling you how many minutes of deep sleep you're getting, you probably need to take that with a grain of salt. In fact, I tell almost all of my patients, you never want to look at finite numbers. So let's say you wake up and it says that you got 23 minutes of deep sleep. I don't think I really care. What I do care about is if you got 20 minutes one night and then 400 one night and then 200 the next, I might want to know what's going on from a trend perspective, but I almost never look at individual data because oftentimes it's not accurate. The final thing is stop doing things that might prevent you from getting into deep sleep. That would include caffeine, alcohol, exercise too close to bedtime, irregular schedules. All the stuff you kind of know that you probably should be doing will definitely help. Next up is Stephanie, and she asks, I work 7 days a week and need to be up between 12:30 a.m. and 1:30 a.m. I get home and go back to sleep around 6:30 a.m. What is the best way to divide my sleep without missing family time in the evening when my husband gets home around 5 p.m.? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not sure there is a time. The way your sleep is scheduled and the way your work is scheduled, if you're working, my guess is that you're probably going to be able to spend morning times with your family, but you really need to start resting in the evening times. If you think that you're going to be able to just skip over sleep, I'm going to let you know now that it's not going to work and it's going to catch up to, and you're going to be asking me more sleep questions. So what I would say is you probably need to consider that. Next question from Barbara, and she asks, is apigenin effective for helping to fall asleep and stay asleep? If so, what dosage? So apigenin is part of the chamomile flower. The extract apigenin was examined in 2015 in a particular study for improving sleep and daytime symptoms in patients with chronic insomnia. 34 patients with diagnosed primary insomnia took part in the research. I want to be very clear about this. The researchers found no significant differences between any of the groups, the ones using the apigenin or the ones not using the apigenin, on any measures, including total sleep time, sleep efficiency, sleep latency, which is how long it takes you to fall asleep, sleep quality, and number of awakenings. They did find out a modest improvement in daytime functioning, but again, didn't help with better sleep. So if you're asking me what's a better herb for sleep, there's far more research on valerian and magnolia bark than there is on this. I couldn't even figure out what the dosage might be because every study that I saw was actually done in rats, not in humans. So once again, I don't think this is something that's ready for prime time. I certainly wouldn't be recommending it in my patients. So I would recommend, if you do need something to help you with sleep, I would actually recommend doing some blood work and finding out if you have any magnesium, iron, melatonin, or vitamin D deficiencies, and start there. Finally, Ruth would like to know, is it bad to fall asleep listening to podcasts? No, I don't think it is. In fact, I think it's a great way to distract yourself, but sometimes it can disturb your bed partner. So you might want to look for these things called pillow speakers. I know you haven't heard of them, but if you go to Google and you type in pillow speakers, you're going to be shocked. There's a ton of them out there, and they make them so they can attach to your device that's playing your podcast, and they go inside your pillow so you don't disturb your bed partner. So thanks so much for all of your questions. I have plenty more answers to your burning sleep questions. So check out another episode of Ask the Sleep Doctor right here. And remember, if you've got a question you'd like to see answered, send me an email at asksleepdoctor.com or drop a comment below. This is Dr. Michael Breus, the Sleep Doctor, wishing you sweet dreams.